All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to do a video that's a little bit outside the whole gaming thing, but still focused on the company Blackrock. Now, you guys seem to like my videos when I talk about Blackrock, and I don't know why. I guess, maybe you like the information, but this one is pretty good in particular because apparently the ESG bully, according to this article, which I like that phrase, ESG bully, it's pretty good. ESG bully Blackrock was just recently caught funding China's nuclear weapons and forced labor, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this company that shills for diversity, equity, and inclusion, apparently they don't mind having forced labor as long as it's a certain kind of person doing it.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Look, I'm not kidding.
You're a fake.
I'm a fake?
Yes.
How'd you like to be dead?
So we have an article here from MRC TV with a headline that reads, ESG bully Blackrock is funding China's nuclear weapons and forced labor, a report finds. This was from May 3rd of 2024. So let's get into this article, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, I did make a video on Blackrock a couple weeks back, I believe at this point, where I was talking about not only did their company reach $10 trillion in assets, $10 trillion. When we're talking about ESG money, now you know just how much we're dealing with. It's an obscene amount of money, but their total assets valued at $10 trillion. And not only that, BlackRock also was funding China. Now, I didn't know that it was to this extent, which I think is a little bit crazy, but they were caught funding Chinese companies that were blacklisted by the USA. So that makes this whole thing even more dramatic. But let's see what the article has to say. Despite boycotting U.S. energy firms in the name of its environment, social, and governance ESG ideology, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, is funding China's U.S.-sanctioned military companies, producers of nuclear weapons, and forced labor enterprises, a new report reveals. In the U.S., BlackRock discriminates against companies that don't comply with the radical left's ESG agenda, which it claims promotes social good. Now, here's the funny thing about the ESG thing, is that BlackRock openly admitted that ESG is actually bad for business. That's the most hilarious thing about all this. I did a video a couple of weeks back talking about how the CEO, Larry Fink, openly admitted that ESG is not good for business, right? And a lot of people who work with him actually say the same thing. It's not good for business and that they are going to lose money by promoting it, and yet they think it's so important, right? They think they're climate activists. They think they're saving the world by promoting it, so they're willing to lose money and try to make up the money elsewhere by promoting ESG in only the US, it seems like, because they're definitely not doing this shit in China. It says, but in reality, the multinational corporation managing $10 trillion across 5 continents funds companies in China that build up the hostile communist regime, nuclear weapons arsenal, and those that enslave and abuse workers. According to a Coalition for the Prosperous America case study for Congress detailing how Wall Street's offshore companies fund the Communist Chinese Party and People's Liberation Army. By the numbers, the report quantifies BlackRock's investments in military aggression and social rights abuses. Now, nobody should be shocked at the fact that a company that advocates and shills for the fakest forms of diversity, equity, and inclusion, nobody should be shocked that they have skeletons like this in their closet, right? These companies do these things because they want to look best in the public eye. Not only is it better for them for their own cause and their own agenda, but they also want to look as good in the public as they possibly can. Oh, look at us. We're BlackRock. We promote ESG. We care about the planet. We care about the climate, all this stuff, right? They like to push this stuff because it makes them look good. Now, let's talk about the actual numbers. It says BlackRock invests in 29 subsidiaries of Chinese military industrial complex companies presently under Treasury Department sanctions. 29 subsidiaries, ladies and gentlemen. That's fucking insane. 29 subsidiaries of Chinese military industrial complex. Then it says BlackRock's subsidiary in Hong Kong, an administrative region of the People's Republic of China, holds 130 million of stock in 14 Chinese military industrial complex companies that U.S. investors are actually prohibited from trading. Wow. Oh my God, man. I keep laughing because this is information that should be out there, a little more out there, right? Like, I feel like we focus so much on entertainment, but we don't actually talk about the real deal when it comes to companies like BlackRock and Vanguard, why they are considered such evil companies, why are they so hated in the grand scheme of things, right? We know them at the surface. We know them at what they're doing to our video games, our movies, our entertainment, right? We know that. But when you really dig deep and you start looking at what they're doing in the world right now and how they're trying to enact change in the bad way in a lot of different areas of the world, and they seemingly, tend to coincide with the goals of certain communists, yep, that's when it gets a little bit crazy. And I think we need to talk about this more. It says Blackrock funds own 18 Chinese companies on the Commerce Department's military end user list or entity list. Blackrock has invested more than $50 million invested across 4 companies sanctioned under the bipartisan, I don't know how to say this, Uyghur, I have no idea, Forced Labor Prevention Act, UFLPA, combating the systematic abuse and genocide of ethnic minorities in Xinjiang, I have no idea, province. Blackrock has nearly $200 million invested in 2 companies, China National Nuclear Power and CGN Power, that help produce nuclear warheads capable of striking the continental United States. That last line right there, hold on. That last line right there, $200 million invested in companies that create nuclear warheads capable of striking, obviously, United States and everywhere else. How is that not trouble? I don't understand how that is not trouble. How is BlackRock allowed to invest money into, I wonder, are they US based? I don't even remember. I believe they are US based, but how can BlackRock comfortably invest $200 million in nuclear warhead creation over there in China, and the US is not roasting them for it? I don't understand how that's a thing, but I guess that's a thing. You know what I mean? They're free to do whatever they want, I suppose. The report calls out BlackRock for its ESG double standard, which if they didn't have double standards, they would have no standards, noting that Mammoth multinational asset manager claims to support social justice and denies contributing to the proliferation of nuclear weapons. Yeah, they're not, because they're not actually for social justice, right? They're only for what the current fake version of social justice is. Whatever's going to make them look good in the public eye, that's what they're for. They really don't care about diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you look at most of their employees at the tip top, who are the executives, it's not exactly very diverse. It says BlackRock states that social issues cover human capital management and impacts on the communities in which a company operates, yet it ignores forced labor and genocide in northwestern China by funding business entities sanctioned under the Forced Labor Prevention Act. BlackRock says it excludes companies involved in the production of nuclear weapons and related delivery systems pursuant to its environmental, social, and governance ESG standards. The reality is that BlackRock holds stock in Chinese companies pursuing an aggressive buildup of nuclear warheads meant to hold United States territory at risk. Again, guys, this whole thing is absolutely insane. I think more people need to talk about this, and this is why every once in a while, as more information, as I find it, I'm going to do videos on it, because I might be one of the only ones on YouTube actually talking about this kind of extreme stuff, because this kind of stuff number one, doesn't do well on YouTube. Usually YouTube hates, videos about this, and number 2, a lot of people just get bored by it, and it's kind of sad because it's actually very important information, especially if you're going to complain about BlackRock, right, and Vanguard ruining your video games and complaining that they're ruining your movies and promoting all these DEI consultancy firms and all that stuff. Just realize where they're getting that money. Where are they actually getting that money, and what else are they funding in this world that's just fucking over everybody? Aside from the entertainment aspect, you really got to start digging deep into this stuff, and that's why if you won't do it, I will find information and bring it to you guys for you to check out. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.